Hello. Hello. What's up? Impromptu stream. Good morning. Can everybody hear me and see me? Don't really have anything planned for the stream. Just thought I'd pop on, say what's up for a little bit. We've got what's up, Philosopher Noir? What's up, Batsy? What's up, LA76? What's up, Spinning? What's up, By Hardcourt? What's up, Mr. Superfast Jellyfish? Have I watched Legend of Vox Machina Season 2? I have not. I think I've seen the first 3 episodes of Season 2. I have not caught back up with it yet, though. I do intend to watch that at some point, though. I did watch all of Season 1. I think it's a pretty solid show. I wonder how good it is to people who don't already like both Dungeons and Dragons and Critical Role. But as a person who likes both Dungeons and Dragons and Critical Role, I'm a fan of it. Do you like jazz? I don't really listen to a lot of jazz. But to be fair, I don't really listen to a lot of music, which is a weird thing to say, but I guess it's true. What's up, T-Rex Quinton? Just got up and I feel good. It's 11. Yep, it's 10 a.m. where I am right now. I might try to catch a nap a little later. Well, I don't know. I got some stuff to do. But I got up a couple hours ago, but I didn't get as much sleep as I would normally like to. So how's everyone doing on this Saturday morning? Unless, of course, you live somewhere other than the US, in which case it's probably not morning. But I think most of you are probably in the US. Where is everyone at? Speaking of D&D, I actually have my D&D game later today in a few hours. So looking forward to that. Midwest, Wisconsin, Oklahoma phobic. What is that? Is that a thing? Illinois? What's my class? I'm the dungeon master. That's my class. Seen the D&D movie? I actually haven't seen it yet. Nobody wants to go see it with me. I guess I'll just go see it by myself. I don't know. Kind of sucks. There's a movie theater literally like 30 seconds from my apartment. Like literally, it's like a 30-second drive down the street. But it just closed down like 2 weeks ago, which is kind of fair because it was kind of a shitty movie theater, and nobody ever went there, and it was kind of nasty. And back in the day, there was always like a bunch of kids hanging around there, like a bunch of teenagers, and people didn't want to go there for that reason. But it was convenient because it was 30 seconds away. So that's where I would like normally want to go if I was just gonna pop in to see a movie real quick. But they closed it down, so now I have to drive at least 20 minutes to get to the closest movie theater. Which is not bad, but you know, can't beat 30 seconds. In the Far East. Interesting. We don't get too many people from the Far East. I swear it is not possible to stream on Twitch without getting spammed. I don't even have any viewers and I still get spammed on Twitch. Jesus. Tore one down by me and put it in Popeyes. I mean, I do love Popeyes. I doubt they're gonna put a Popeyes at this one though. I don't know what they're gonna use it for though. Probably just gonna, another movie theater is gonna open, or at least I hope so. Because I mean, they have all of the theaters and stuff. Like, I don't know. I mean, but it's like a huge building, so I wonder what they would use it for. I wonder if it's like for sale or something, or if someone has bought the building. Has the Bud Light VP resigned? Did that happen? I don't know if that, I don't know. I looked it up, but they won't tell me. It says that no, it's a myth. It's a meme. It's a false meme. But I mean, I feel like people can guess what my reaction to Bud Light stuff is. If you know anything about me, I mean, man. So first of all, obviously, I'm anti-transphobia, like obviously. So it's pretty simple. Like this is such like a non-story to me. It's just like some folks being hateful online, like always. Yet it just becomes this big thing. I haven't been like, once I stopped using Twitter half as much as I used to, like I used to be on Twitter like fucking like 8 hours a day every day, and now I maybe hop on like once a week. And once I stopped doing that, a lot of stuff that I feel like I would care about, I just don't care about anymore, because it's like not really a story. Like it doesn't matter. It's just people being shitty, and that's just something that happens all the time. What's your favorite conspiracy theory? I don't know. I mean, there's a... I mean, I don't know. I never really thought about it, I guess. There's conspiracy theories that are true. But obviously the wild ones are probably more entertaining. What do you think of the TYT drama? I don't know what the TYT drama is. Oh, it's something on Twitter. Yeah, I don't
Fancy communist. Emma, I just want...
Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry if that was loud. I was thinking about this recently, about how I've kind of fallen out of touch with the music, and not just popular music, but just music in general. One day I'd like to get back into music. There's just too much media to consume. I don't know how people keep up with it. I've got like so many YouTube videos to watch. I'm really into D&D, so I watch a lot of D&D content, and there's so much, not even just D&D, but just like tabletop RPG content, and there's just so much of it. I don't know. I don't really have time to watch anything else or listen to anything else. Am I into any metal music at all, or maybe punk? Well, I don't really have any like specific bands or albums that I can name. Every now and then I will hear a song that I like, but I guess as a genre overall, it's not my jam. But you know, there's examples of every genre that I like. I tend to like, I don't know how to describe it, like more like melodic type of stuff. And metal and punk is not usually about the melody, it's more about like the feeling and sometimes the message. But obviously there is like melodic metal and melodic punk, but a lot of it is just sounds noisy, but it's like that's the point, I think. And I feel like, I know I sound like a boomer when I say that, but I feel like they do it on purpose. Twitter really seems like it has an impact with online politics. It doesn't really affect anything else. I mean, it would be incorrect to say that Twitter has no impact in the world, but I feel like 90% of the shit that gets talked about on Twitter like doesn't matter, or at least doesn't matter in the way that people talk about it. Even political stuff. A lot of the political stuff is like exaggerated or misinformed or not nuanced. It's like not useful to consume a lot of the time. I think Twitter can be really good at like breaking news about events that are happening in real time. Like Twitter is like kind of unrivaled for that. But in terms of like learning about society and politics and social justice, Twitter is pretty terrible. I just listened to the new Baby Metal album, and I'm currently wearing an Iron Maiden t-shirt. The metal community welcomes all, and any fan doesn't fail to understand metal. I did like that one Baby Metal song that was really popular about chocolate back in the day. That song's really good. I spent way too much time engaging moon landing hoaxers. It's helped me learn how some people think, I guess. Yeah, some of that is entertaining. A lot of those kind of conspiracy theories are just frustrating because it's like just people demonstrating like a very severe lack of critical thinking, which is not that entertaining to me. It's like it's kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? It's kind of frustrating. Like, I think if people want to think about stuff in a fun way, that's cool. If you want to like discuss theories about things just for fun and you're not taking it too seriously, but when you get into the idea of like, oh, the government is lying to us and they're trying to keep us sheep, and you know, that kind of stuff, that kind of stuff gets really obnoxious. Like and especially when it's something that doesn't matter. Like I don't know if you guys watched the YouTuber Jose, who I recently collabed with on my last video, but he just released a video about conservative documentaries, and you know, one of the big conservative conspiracies is that the election was stolen, and they did a whole fucking documentary about it, which is crazy to me. Like that they found enough material to fill a full-length documentary. But I mean, I guess if you want to believe something, you can find what, you know, evidence that satisfies you if you're looking for it. Like you can reverse engineer the evidence you need to support anything you want to believe. I think conspiracy theories are kind of fun as real world fanfic. Yeah, I mean, that's cool. I mean, I like conspiracy theories about like media and stuff. Well, not conspiracy theories, but like about things that don't matter. Like, you know, flat earth, moon landing, that kind of stuff doesn't really matter, but it does get frustrating when you look into it and see how serious these people are. And especially with flat earth is, I think it's more frustrating because it's usually related to religion. And that's a whole nother can of worms. Do you play chess? Yeah, I play a lot of chess. I play a ton of chess. I like chess. I mean, I actually, is it around here? I have a chess book. I bought a chess book recently, but it's not, it used to be on my desk, so it's not here right now. But yeah, I'm like really into chess. I like study it and shit. And I follow a lot of chess content creators. I'm a part of the chess community, you might say. I'm not very good at chess, but I like it. Are you thinking of leaving Twitter? What would you consider good alternatives? I don't know if I'm gonna like delete my Twitter or anything, but I have severely cut back my time on there. Like I said, I'm on there maybe once or twice a week. And really, I don't read it anymore. I just post like random shit on there and then leave. That's basically how I interact with Twitter. Because I don't know, I'm the type of guy, I think this is why I do content, because I'm just kind of, I don't know, I'm an attention seeker, I guess. I like, if I have an idea, I need to tell somebody it. And that's like the only thing that social media is good for. As for alternatives, I don't know. I'm not really looking for an alternative to Twitter, because I don't think Twitter is good. I don't want another Twitter. But like the closest thing I have to an alternative to Twitter is my own personal Discord, which you all can come and join if you want. Go to theonejanitor.com/Discord. And it's just a chill little community where I can talk to people. So that's probably what I use as my Twitter alternative. Chess stream when? I mean, I'd be happy to do a chess stream. I just don't know how interested people would be in watching someone who's not good at chess play chess. But I actually have done a chess stream before, more than once. Maybe when I get a little bit better at chess, I'll start streaming chess. Four-player chess is, I've never played four-player chess actually. That's why I love that Kubrick moon landing theory. Yeah, I heard that. It's like it's gonna be too expensive and prohibitive to shoot the moon landing in the studio, so we'll just shoot it on location. Is chess a sport? I would say no, but the definition of a sport is a bit nebulous and sometimes subject to opinion, I suppose. What's up, Austin? Thanks for popping in. Do you ever feel like moving to a blue state? Not particularly. I mean, whether or not a state is a blue state I don't think would affect my decision to move there. If I was going to move somewhere for political reasons, I would probably just leave the United States entirely. Are you into Warhammer? I have never played Warhammer. I'd like to try it someday. It seems to have a high barrier of entry. Like, seems like you gotta buy a lot of stuff to play Warhammer, which I'm not necessarily opposed to, but it might be hard to get other people to do it. Why do you talk white? What is how do you describe talking white? What is the definition of talking white? I don't understand what that means. A left tube charity chess tournament might be kind of cool. I think that would be cool. I don't know if I want to organize that, but I would definitely participate. What's your elo? I'm about 1300 on chess.com, like 1600 on Lichess. Do you think that chess game between Lenin and Hitler actually happened? I have no idea. I don't know. What countries? Wait, I skipped some questions. How much of our current political divide is due to the rise of cable and internet news? That's a big part of it. That's a huge part of it. The 24-hour news cycle, cable news, the super partisan news networks like Fox News and CNBC. I think that's a big part of it for sure. And social media, though, as we learned, political organizations use the social media very heavily to sow political discord. Facebook in particular. What countries would you move to? I'm not sure. I've thought Canada might be nice. I thought maybe one of the Scandinavian countries. Maybe Korea. Why is everyone so obsessed with chess lately? I'd say probably like 65% because of the Queen's Gambit, that show. And then maybe like 20% because of the PogChamps tournaments, which were chess tournaments with a bunch of popular streamers and YouTube celebrities and other celebrities in it. Brought a lot of people into chess. I don't play the tabletop, but I'm hooked on the lore in video games. Yeah, the lore is really cool. I've looked a little bit into the lore. Assuming you're still talking about Warhammer. Would you rather have a drink with Karl Marx or Groucho Marx? Probably Groucho Marx. He was funny. What did the Australian chess player call his friend from Prague? His checkmate. Funny. Talking white is when you don't speak with Desu, Ohio, Doro, Monsuta. Oh, okay. Well, then we're all talking white, right? If you offered a grant of $25,000 to move to a small town in the Midwest, but had to live there for at least 3 years, would you take it? A grant? When you call it a grant, that implies that it's to be used for something. Are you saying they just give me free money? I mean, I'd probably do that for a free $25,000. Because if I wanted to I could just get on a plane and visit other places if I needed to. It's like an incentive to enrich smaller American towns, I guess. I don't know how much I could individually enrich a town, but if someone thought that I was so enriching that they would offer me $25,000, it would be worth considering. Now, if there were other obligations attached to the $25,000, that would make it a little bit different. Because, listen, $25,000 is a lot of money, but it's not like life-changing money. So, well, I mean, like in the grand scheme of things, it's not life. I mean, for a lot of people, that would be life-changing. But, you know, I would probably just put it in the bank or something. But you can't scoff at a free 25K. Is walkability in your city something that affects your day-to-day enough for you to be concerned about it? Is it something you take into consideration when choosing a place to move to? It's hard to say, really, because walkability is like not a thing anywhere that I've lived, so I don't even know. It seems like it would be nice. Having a car sucks. I don't like the fact that I have to have a car, so I probably should consider it. Like, I'm not saying that I dislike having a car. I just don't like the fact that I need a car. What's up, Mark? What is your favorite video game? I've kind of fallen off video games more recently, but I always say that my favorite video game of all time is Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. It's a perfect game. Well, it wouldn't just be you, it would be multiple people. Yeah, I know, but $25,000 is still a large investment in an individual. What would you say is your biggest concern, the most important political issue? Definitely poverty. It's a big problem. It's a big problem that's easily solvable. That's why it's so frustrating. Have I gotten high before? Yeah. What's one question you would like to answer but haven't been asked? I don't know. People ask this question a lot. Whenever there's a Q&A or an AMA, people ask, like, what question do you want us to ask? And nobody has an answer to that question. Like, I don't know. Ask whatever you want. It's a common. I feel like it's like when people can't think of a question, that's what they ask. But it's like, I don't know. I think the beauty of a Q&A or an AMA is to hear the various questions that people ask, which are often things that you would never think of. But yeah, I mean, I don't mean to ridicule the question. It's just a comment, that an observation, because people ask that a lot. Ever find 30 Rock hard to watch now when so many of their jokes are from a pre-Trump view of Republicans, but now are just true, kind of like The Onion is the news now, if that makes sense? I don't know. I don't think it makes it harder to watch, but it's interesting to note. There's a lot of shows like that. I think that kind of makes media like more interesting when you think about the context in which it was made. I don't think it makes it harder to watch. I think it makes it more interesting. Which Slavic country do you think is the best? I don't know for sure. I think from what I've read, Norway has like the best setup, but I really don't know. Oh, sorry. You said Slavic. I was thinking Scandinavian. My bad. I don't know anything about the Slavic countries. Yeah, I don't really know much about the Slavic countries. That's like stuff like Czech and Ukraine and stuff like that, right? People like to defend cars because of freedom, but the world we've built around us to facilitate said cars has done more to cut off our freedom than anything else. Well, I mean, I think that people should be able to have cars if they want them, but yeah, needing a car is whack. And I'm sure it's, you know, all kind of part of the system where there's no incentive to rearrange society so that we don't need cars, because so many industries benefit from people needing cars. Outer Wilds, I've heard that's good. What's your favorite cereal? Probably the tastiest cereal is Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I feel like that's a very common answer. Have you killed anyone? Not to my knowledge. If you were to live somewhere solely because of the food, where would it be? I already live in the southern United States, which has the best food in the world, so I don't have to move for that. What YouTubers do you watch immediately when you see they post a new video? Vlogbrothers for sure. Captain Disillusion, H Bomber Guy. Let me look at my page and see if there's anyone. Daniel Naroditsky is a chess streamer, a chess content creator. I watch all of his videos. Dead Meat, that the horror channel, if you're familiar with that. I watch all their stuff. So yeah, those are a few. I'm sure there's more. That's what came to my mind. Easy answer to solving poverty is provide basic needs for people who are in poverty, which there is plenty of money for. It's just that wealthy corporations and people are hoarding all of it and they don't need it. So we can make them give some of that up, and then make it so that people don't starve anymore. Easy. What's the most goth thing about you? I don't know. How would you describe goth? I can't think of anything that is goth about me. You can still drive in places like Tokyo and London, but you don't need to drive, which to me is real freedom. Yeah, I think that's cool. Because I mean, I like cars in like as an object. They look cool. They go fast. That's cool. You know, like I bought a car that I like. It looks cool to me. I have a Mustang. So I like them as an object, but I don't like the fact that I have to have it. Like I can't do anything. I'm lucky in that I work from home, so I don't need to like use it, you know, as much as the average person. But you know, like I literally like I can't go grocery shopping, you know, I can't go see people. And this another thing is most of the United States has very poor public transportation as well. That's another thing. Like some cities like New York, Chicago, other places, they have, you know, they have public transportation, but most places don't. And where I live, we have like buses, but they're kind of trash. Apple butter on Southern style biscuits is to die for. Hell yeah. You a big horror fan? Any favorite movies or series? I wouldn't say I'm a big horror fan. In fact, growing up, I kind of hated horror movies. Only recently as an adult have I gotten more into them, but I'm still pretty picky about it. Like I don't really like super gruesome, fucked up horror movies. That's not really my jam. But horror movies can be really fun and also pretty good. My sort of like generic answer for my favorite horror movie is The Shining. I think that's a perfect movie. But it's, you know, it's a pretty cliche common answer, but you know, there's a reason that it's a common answer. I think It Follows is also one of the best horror movies of all time. I really enjoyed that movie. I think that movie has the perfect blend of interesting and creepy. Like I generally don't enjoy being creeped out. It's not pleasant to me. That's why I didn't really like horror movies growing up. But some movies can pull it off where they creep you out in an entertaining way. I think it's rare, but some movies can do it. What would you do about the homelessness problems in places like San Francisco and LA? Well, it gets a little complicated because there's all kinds of like laws and owner, you know, people who own stuff. I think so. I can only speak in a general way. When it comes to like the very specific policies, that gets very complicated. That requires, you know, all these people to kind of work together. That requires legislators to come up with ideas. But from a very general moral philosophical standpoint, I think that housing should be a basic right. I think probably the government should provide housing for people if they need it, or provide, you know, a way to get affordable housing, which probably would just involve and listen, government housing is not the perfect solution. It's been done and it's not always great, but there needs to be something to that extent, in my opinion. How they do that will require a lot of discussion, a lot of compromise, a lot of debate. What's your comfort TV show? Boy Meets World, probably. When are you sure you can speak confidently about a topic? When's it time to stop researching and start creating or producing? I mean, I think it takes a minor level of research to get the basic idea of something. So on my channel, this is why, like, there's a lot of creators who make videos who are like 2 hours, that are like 2 hours long, 1 hour long, sometimes even longer, because they want to go in depth into topics. None of my videos are like that because I don't really feel comfortable pretending to be an expert on a topic. Most of my videos, you know, when I was doing more political and social justice type videos, most of my videos were like introductions to the topic to get the conversation started, and then you can go from there. And it doesn't take that much research to get to that point. So yeah, do I watch any cooking channels on YouTube? I do. I love cooking channels. I'm a big fan of the Babish videos, a big fan of Mythical Kitchen, a big fan of Internet Shaquille. You Suck at Cooking is good. So yeah, I'm a big fan of that genre. From all this chess dialogue, I got a new question. How might games be used for educational purposes to teach history, engineering, social realities, even radicalizing material? I mean, there's definitely educational gaming out there. I guess it depends on what you are trying to teach. Sort of like in the same way. I'm trying to think of an example. I can't think of like an example of a game. I mean, there's educational games usually like for children and stuff. I'm trying to think of like an educational game for adults that's also like a good game. Are there any examples of that? But it's definitely possible. I mean, I could totally imagine like a documentary style video game. Can you do a video on whether race has any real advantage on sports? I guess it's possible I could do a video of that. Lately I'm not doing too many videos about race anymore. I think it's an interesting question. I just don't know if topics like that, if the internet is the place to talk about stuff like that anymore. Like, I've kind of changed my mind on talking about politics and race on the internet. Like, obviously I think I could make a video and I think some people would appreciate it, but it would also result in a lot of bickering and nonsense at the same time, which I don't know if I want to be involved with. I'm working on my first video after inspiration from you and FD Signifier about the weird growing popularity of fight video accounts that post videos with false and baiting captions to justify racism. I mean, that sounds like an interesting topic. I don't know if I know that much about that topic, actually. I'm not too familiar. Any favorite migratory birds? I'm woefully ignorant about birds. I don't know anything. I can barely name like 5 birds. Stephen King doesn't like the movie adaptation of The Shining, and the book is a little different. Yeah, I'm aware that he doesn't like the movie adaptation. Probably because I think it's less because it's not a good movie and more because they changed what he wrote. But you know, he's entitled to his opinion. I think he's in the minority of that opinion. You've seen The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari? I have not. Do you want to share some of the videos you're currently working on? Probably. I don't like to spoil videos, but I will say that for those that have been following for a while, you know that I really like sitcoms, so I have a lot of ideas about sitcoms. And my last video was about a sitcom, and there will be more like that. Just say that. How are you still well spoken? I don't know that I'm super well spoken. Sometimes I feel like I stammer over my words a lot. But outside of that, I guess just, I don't know. I guess from just my parents talking to me. I don't know. I would say from reading, but I don't even read that much. I think I'm just interested in like learning and intellectualism, and so I consume a lot of content from people who may be considered intellectuals, and maybe I picked up some things from there. I have not seen the Mario movie. That's another movie I'd like to see. I know you mentioned The Conquest of Bread. Do you remember it? I've never read it. I just know that is where the term bread dude comes from. That's probably the only reason I mentioned it, is because someone was asking me where the name bread dude comes from. Do you like sushi? I do like sushi. If you like cooking videos, you should watch Charlie the Cook Andrews. Okay. Sure, I'll do that. Will you be killing me? What's up, Chris? We'll see, I guess. I mean, not on purpose. If you do something real dumb, maybe. GIF or GIF? It's definitely GIF. See, these are the types of debates that the internet is for. The internet is not for debating politics. The internet's debate is for debating GIF or GIF. But the answer is GIF. The guy who made it said that's how you pronounce it. So, I mean, that's just kind of what it is. But obviously, GIF has become probably more popular than GIF now. So, at this point, it's kind of it's not a hill that I'm gonna die on. Charlie's from New Orleans. That's cool. New Orleans is dope. New Orleans food is really dope. Minecraft can be used for engineering. Yeah. In fact, I'm sure there are probably like hip college professors that teach using Minecraft. Sorted food. I feel like I've heard of that. They just did a Southern food tour. Yeah, Southern food is the best. I don't know. Yeah, and it's like someone brought up New Orleans. Man, New Orleans has really good food, especially if you go to the right places. We should go get sushi after D&D. Maybe. I usually just like chill and drink after D&D, but we'll see. Do you have any advice for getting into D&D for a newcomer? Any experience online? I don't live in a densely populated area. I don't have much experience playing like with strangers online. If you can get your friends to play online, that's cool. I mean, the main advice is just like, don't sweat it. It's not a big deal. Like, it's not hard. And you shouldn't feel pressured to, like, if you don't feel like super comfortable doing something, then you shouldn't feel pressure to do it. But I also think that you should maybe step outside your comfort zone and try some things. Like, one of the cool things about D&D is that you get to like be someone that you're not for a little while. So I think I would say lean into it. Like, you know, if you're like a really quiet person, try being a loud person, making a loud character, just to feel what it's like. If you're talking about advice about how to start it, the best way to start it is just to run a game, because at least in my experience, I have found a lot of people that want to play, but not very many people that want to run the game, that want to be the game master. So that's the best way to just get into it, is to just start it and ask your friends if they'll indulge you in a game. And I promise you, like 90% of the people that you introduce to the game will love it because it's great. Or you can, you know, go online. You can find Reddit, go on Discord, go on Roll20, probably D&D Beyond. I'm not sure. I never looked in there, but there's always people that are looking to join games. If you feel comfortable like playing with strangers and stuff. I blame the great old one. Well, that happens. Do you think Mr. Rogers had a lasting impact on American culture? Or do you feel his message has been forgotten? Well, he's had a lasting impact on me for sure. I kind of like aspire to be Mr. Rogers, like unironically. And I'm sure there are other people like that. I do feel like current society has like a distinct lack, or not complete lack, but you can truly see a diminishment. Is that a word? Diminishing of empathy and a diminishing of understanding and compassion towards other people. That's very evident. I think social media is largely to blame for that. But that doesn't mean that it has to be permanent. We'll see where we go from here, but that's definitely not what Mr. Rogers would have wanted, most likely. What's your opinion on YouTube mods being paid? Because I heard some channels do that. I just think it depends on the dynamic and the setup of the individual channel. I think if you're making mods do like a serious amount of work, and you also make a lot of money from your content, then it makes sense to pay them. But a lot of times being a mod is not that much work. Like, you can just, you just right click someone's name and click ban, and then you're done. So it's not like, it's not like excruciating work. But for some channels, like for very, very large channels, it can be a lot of work. Especially depending on what you're doing. Like if you're doing like very special streaming events and things like that, mods might have to put in some work. So it can make sense. It just depends, I think. Would you come to Mexico on vacation? Maybe. I don't really know that much about Mexico, but I'm sure it would be interesting. What places in the US would you recommend I visit first? Depends on what you're into, really. Are you into big cities? Are you into nature? Are you into like having a lot of events and activities to do? Are you into nightlife? It like strongly depends. Are you into like, hipster cultures and shit? So yeah, it depends. What's up, seaweed? Have I heard of Andrewism? I have not. You ever chat with chatbots? I speak with characters on character AI chat being 38. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I use ChatGPT like every day. It's quite amazing. Thanks for stopping by, Shaloa. You need to be in a D&D game before you can be a good game master. You need to understand the rules and mechanizations. You don't, not really. I mean, there's no like judge, like no one's gonna give you a grade on your game mastering after the game. Literally the only thing that matters is if you're having fun. If you have had fun, then you have succeeded at being a game master. Even if you get all the rules wrong, if you mess something up, if at the end of the day you had fun, you're doing it right. That's the point. It's a game, it's for fun. And you learn it as you go. You get better as you go, and the only way that you can get better is by doing it. In fact, I would argue that being a player does not prepare you for being a DM or a GM. I think the only thing that prepares you for being a GM is being a GM. Humans from Earth. Can I get an invite? An invite to what? A lot of times these messages are out of context, and I read them like 20 minutes later, so I'm not sure. What's up, Mellow Wado? Thank you for your kind words. Do you have a favorite poem? I don't know. I used to when I was in college and I was taking writing classes, but I don't even remember. I used to be a big fan of William Carlos Williams. Yeah, he has a poem. I can't remember what it's called. But he has a lot of poems that I like. I really liked his writing style. What do you use ChatGPT for? I use it for everything. I use it almost as much, if not more, than Google now. I use it for everything. I don't know. I was planning I made like a DIY escape room for my friends recently, and I used ChatGPT to help me plan it. I use it to come up with ideas for videos and titles for videos. I ask it questions that I would ask Google because it's a lot of the times it gives me the answer quicker. Like I was curious about how rice cakes were made because I didn't know, and I just asked ChatGPT, stuff like that, just everything. Is ChatGPT being used as a means for malicious content? I doubt that the people who make ChatGPT are using it for malicious content. It's possible, but I don't have any reason to believe that. Does Warlock not do prepared spells? I think they do. I can't remember. Invite to D&D. Oh. I don't know. I actually would like to do some games online, but I don't know. My home game is very cool because my home game is basically just made up of all of my best friends. So it's a very sort of intimate and chill game. How do they put the cream inside donuts? I guess they probably inject it. I'm not sure actually. But I bet ChatGPT could answer. You need to get through 2 pages of sponsored ads in Google too. Yeah, that's often true. What's the most recent movie you have seen and did you like it? I don't watch movies that much. What is the recent movie? I think the most recent movie I've seen is Ant-Man Quantumania. And did I like it? It was okay. Maybe C+, B minus C+. Have I ever traveled to the UK? No. I would like to though. I use it for CSS and HTML, dummy, body copy, anything very intense. I'll feed in like a program's documentation and then it becomes an expert. Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, it can do anything. It's crazy. And obviously sometimes it can be wrong or nonsensical, but it is quite useful. And you can always like fact check it if you're not sure if it's telling you the truth or telling you something that's true. Best Simpsons joke? That's really hard. There's a lot of great Simpsons jokes. One of my favorite lines from The Simpsons is when Homer said, I have 3 children and no money. Why can't I have no children and 3 money? How are you liking this new Taskmaster season? I haven't seen the most recent one, the current one. I just catch Taskmaster when they upload it to YouTube. Have they uploaded the new series on YouTube? Or I usually catch it late, but I don't know. I've been checking out, someone uploaded the Taskmaster Australia, which is a new one. That was pretty good. Can you beat watch for rolling rocks in half an A press? I don't know what that sentence means. Thanks for answering my cues. I started watching your channel because The Princess and the Frog is my favorite princess movie, and I find a lot of your content very interesting, even though I'm not from the US. I appreciate that, yeah. I feel like a lot of people were surprised by my Princess and the Frog take. Princess and the Frog was it's one of those videos where I was like, so I have like a big list of notes with like video topics that I might do, and I just had like the Princess and the Frog on there. It's like maybe just like, you know, a retrospective, review the movie, first Black Princess, maybe talk about that. And I watched it and I was like, man, this movie's kind of bad. And so that's what the video became. It's just me kind of trashing the movie. But Dr. Facilia is dope. And I stand by my comment that he has the best Disney villain song. Have you ever had a near-death experience? I don't think I have, actually. Ugopnik, a more radical breadtuber, worries about when they're going to, for example, mod out any pro-Marxist sentiment from chatbots. Chatbots. I think that they would largely like the chatbots to be apolitical. Yeah, Taskmaster is a perfect show. It is literally chef's kiss. It's like the best show ever. Yeah, the energy. Well, I've checked out several of the Taskmaster spinoffs, and nothing comes even close to Greg and Alex. But I do like some of the different dynamics. And yeah, the two Toms on the Australian version, I enjoyed that. I feel like the assistant Tom on that one is like a lot more assertive than Alex is. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic. And they tried to bring Taskmaster to the US, but it was pretty bad, and we don't talk about that. But I think the Taskmaster Tom from Australia is my favorite Taskmaster outside of Greg. My favorite assistant outside of Alex is the New Zealand one. I forgot his name. Paul, yeah, Paul. Hello from Europe. I saw your video about transracial adoption. Do you think there are more aspects you want to cover concerning that issue? I don't know. There's nothing that comes to mind. You know, I only covered the basics as I could because, you know, I'm not a parent and I'm not an adoptee, so I can only really cover it on a very basic level, so I didn't really want to get too deep into it. Have I ever thought about quitting YouTube media life? Yeah, I mean, I've thought about it. And I'm sure it'll happen sometime. But this is the best job I've ever had, so I'm chilling. I'm good at the moment. I've definitely had to sort of arrange it in a way that is healthy. Like I've been talking about how trash social media is. That's a big part of it. Like, and it's also why I've stopped making political videos, because just being a part of these online political communities is just very not good, in my opinion. It's not good for like your mental health, and it's also not good for your like development as like a rational and thoughtful person, because when you get in these communities, there's social pressure there's social pressure to not have the wrong opinions, basically. And that's I think that's very toxic to your personal development as a critically thinking, rational human being, when you can't sort of think clearly because you're pressured into making sure that you don't have the wrong opinions. At least for me, I don't want to live like that. Do you think it's okay to support a team on the other side of the country? I mean, sure. Maybe some people might be upset by that. Yeah, James Acaster is very intense. You mean like purity tests? Yeah, sort of like that. I mean that's definitely a big part of it. But it's not even like a purity test. It's not always a purity test, because it's not always you facing people online and being judged. It's like literally in your own personal, thought process. You might be, how can I phrase it? But even when you're like alone thinking about something, the way you think about it can be affected by these communities that you're in. And you're like, you might consider something on your own, even before you tell anyone. You might consider something, you'd be like, well, I can't think that because that's the wrong opinion. And I don't think that's the way to go about thinking about stuff. What job would I like to do if I quit YouTube someday? Well, it would probably need to be something creative, or it would need to be nothing. Like if I quit, it would hopefully be because I didn't need to work, but just, anything that's involving being creative and making stuff, maybe a writer or a producer or something like that. Like you can't argue why some races are better than others and expect to be taken seriously, for example. I mean, there are opinions. I don't think that some races are better than others, but I do think that you should be able to consider whether that's true or not without being scared of backlash. And if it's something that you seriously want to consider, I don't know if you're being serious, but I think most any discussion should be had, and then we draw the conclusion based on what we know and the evidence. And I think if you study into that sort of thing, you probably won't come to the conclusion that some races are better than others. Unless you just already kind of have that sort of bigotry in your heart. Just joining Discord. Awesome. I'm easily influenced by others when it comes to politics because I never really think about it in my day-to-day, so I do not tend to engage in anything political online. I think it is generally a good idea to not engage in politics online, and this is something that is kind of sounds weird coming from me because I basically did it for a living for many years. Obviously politics is important, and I think there are certain things that people should think about, but I don't think social media is the place to do it. I think you should find some trusted individuals or trusted sources and maybe use that. But people screaming at you on Twitter about how your politics are wrong, that's not going to get anyone anywhere. And also, social media intentionally sort of filters people into echo chambers. Like, it does it on purpose, which is probably not good also. A lot of people, when you talk to them about politics, it's very clear that they have never heard the counter arguments to what they believe. And they are like flabbergasted when they find people that don't believe the same things they believe. And that's not good. And I think social media sort of intentionally causes that to happen. If you were to pick your favorite bean, which one would it be? Black eyed peas, probably. I'm not a big bean guy, to be honest. I guess I'll eat some kidney beans and some chili or something like that. But I'm not just gonna sit and eat some beans usually. If not for political groups, how do we develop our political theory? The conformism of groups is a huge problem. Yeah, what we do. No, you can have political groups, just not on the internet. Not on social media. I'm not anti-politics. I'm anti-internet politics. I mean, if you've got like, you know, a group of trusted individuals in like a private Discord or something, that's fine. But on Twitter, no. Don't do it on Twitter. Don't do it on Twitch. Don't do it on Facebook. Because these sites are designed to reward outrage and discord. Shouldn't all Americans support their state sports teams? I mean, no one should support anything. You can support whatever you want. And also, as Albatross said, not all states have pro teams, like Alabama. Roll Tide. But, I mean, support whatever team you like. It doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. What do you think of a job that may not have creativity at the forefront, but regularly requires it? I often have to be creative with my words and speaking with others. I mean, I think it just depends on how you feel about it. If you find that challenging and rewarding and fulfilling, then that's cool. You know, I'm the type of person. I mean, I somewhat stumbled into the YouTube thing. I mean, I was on YouTube a long time ago, but I had no indication that it was going to actually become my job for a long time. So I think I'm open-minded to any kind of job. You know, it might be interesting. But I do know that in my history, I have never had a job that I thought was cool before YouTube. I know that's not everyone's experience, but I kind of have like a low opinion of non-creative jobs. But I don't know, maybe I just like making stuff. If the job involves using your creativity to make stuff, there's a good chance I might be into it. And making stuff can be verbally as well, but it depends on what it is. One can make an argument pro sports promotes social inequity with the disproportionate amount of money made versus given to community. I mean, I think that's sort of missing the forest for the trees, because all of that money comes from the community. I don't think it is the sports industry's job to solve poverty. And I also think that people are allowed to like spend their money however they want. I mean, I guess not all of the money comes from the community, but most of it does, either directly or indirectly. Like, they wouldn't make all that money if people didn't love sports. So I don't really have a problem with people making a bunch of money by providing something that a lot of people love. Yeah, we just had a discussion about ChatGPT. I use it every day. Or are you asking if I've used it like now, just now? Say you walk into the corner store for a snack and beverage of choice. What are they? It varies from day to day. I'd say probably Funyuns and water, possibly Diet Coke. Am I watching Creator Clash? I'm probably not gonna pay for it, but I will catch it somehow. I'm interested to watch it. I'm sure it'll be the highlights will be uploaded the next day or something. My job forces me to be creative. It's hard when you're burned out and have a deadline, even if it's self-imposed. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I deal with the same thing. I have to give myself deadlines though, or else I would get much less work done. It's interesting, like, I work for myself now. Back when I had jobs where I had bosses and worked for other people, you know, I hated the fact that I couldn't work at my own pace and I couldn't get up when I wanted to, and you know, I had to get things done at a certain time. But now that I work for myself, I've found that the best way to be productive is to set deadlines and, you know, work at a certain pace and get up at a certain time. It's funny. I wish I could get monies for your YouTube. I mean, you could just figure it out. If you were president, what would your first executive order be? Well, I wouldn't get elected president because I would campaign on eliminating poverty, and you can't do that. My first executive order, I mean, I would probably like vastly expand social safety nets and welfare. And then I would immediately get impeached by the Republicans because they hate that. And probably the Democrats too, because that wouldn't be good for them. Have I ever seen a drag show and how much did I love it? I've seen many drag shows and they are always awesome. It's like one of the most entertaining things to see, in my opinion. Should I give up a position with lots of overtime or a salaried position with higher pay? It really depends on what your priorities are. I mean, I think you should just take the job that makes you the happiest, because that's gonna matter more in the long run. If they make you equally happy, then it just depends. Like, does one come with benefits? Does one come with like a 401k? If so, then probably that one. If you get paid, I mean, are you working less for more money? I don't know. There's a lot of factors. What do you think the future of Black America economically? Do you think public schools and healthcare would help outcome? I mean, improved healthcare would obviously be great for everyone, including Black people, and improved education, improved access to education would be helpful. Absolutely. Among other things. Are there any shows that you like that are similar to Boy Meets World? Similar? I guess it depends on what you mean by similar. I do think that among sort of the family slash young adult school type sitcoms, Boy Meets World is pretty unique, because when you think of like other sort of like 90s family sitcoms, what comes to mind is stuff like Full House and Step by Step and Family Matters. And in my opinion, Boy Meets World is way better than all of those shows. I'm trying to think of one that came out during that time in that genre that I think is as good. I can't think of one. I think because most of them are not that good. I mean, they're like memorable and sort of comforting, but they're not like good and thoughtful and things and in the way that Boy Meets World is. Now, there are a lot of sitcoms that are good, but if you mean like Boy Meets World, I don't know. I can't think of one. Do you think the Parks and Rec ending was rushed and unsatisfying? Not really. I feel like a lot of people don't like the Parks and Rec ending, but I thought it was fine. I think so. Parks and Rec at the beginning of the last season, you know, this is the last one. They're wrapping it up. And when you have that in mind, I think it's fine. You understand that the show's ending, so they're wrapping everything up. And I think it's fine. I don't know, the last sort of arc with Leslie and Ron, I thought was very good and very sweet. I thought it was great. You ever take a relational psychology test? I have not. I don't even know what that is, I don't think. Just got offered a job in Canada. Do I take it? Again, it depends. What's the job? How much does it pay? What do they offer you? Do you think the job will make you happy? What are you leaving behind? There's so much that goes into it. I think it's possible to have everyone housed and fed and still have rich people and poor people. I guess it depends on what the definition of poor people is, because to me, if everyone has basic needs met, then I don't know how you can call anyone poor. If you just mean that there will be people who have more money than other people, then yeah, I agree. But I don't think that it's a problem for some people to have more money than other people. You know, assuming that nobody is starving or being homeless or dying because they don't have health care. If you could switch lives and bodies, not just powers, with any superhero or villain, who would it be? Switch lives? I don't think I would switch lives with a real superhero or villain. Very stressful. People always trying to kill you. Nah, I'm not into it. Everybody Hates Chris is kind of close to Boy Meets World. I haven't watched all of Everybody Hates Chris. I should watch that actually. That might make for a good video if I find something interesting about it. What did you think of the ending to Futurama? It's great. One of the best endings to a show. Chat is becoming T1J career advice seminar. It's odd how people ask normal human beings who possibly do not have any more insights than you, and this is the thing we do. Yeah, I agree. I'm definitely not an expert on careers. I'm still figuring a lot of things in my own life out. But if I've answered a question, it's probably because I've thought about it. And I do think that there are certain things that I may have insight on because I think about a lot of things like this. But you should never consider me an expert in pretty much anything. But there are probably things that I know more about than you do. Like, I probably know more about YouTube as a career than most people here. I probably know more about a lot of things. I don't know. And there's a lot of things that I've personally researched that might be interesting to people. Who knows? Mad Scientist Assistant, thank you for the 163. Malcolm in the Middle versus Everybody Hates Chris. Malcolm in the Middle is an interesting one. I wouldn't say it's like Boy Meets World. I know you didn't say that, but I think those are both good shows. Malcolm in the Middle is probably better. I haven't seen all of Everybody Hates Chris though. I feel bad not picking the black show, but I think Malcolm in the Middle is probably better. Because Malcolm in the Middle is a really good show. It's great. $2.2 Canadian. It like converts the money to US dollars. That's why I said 163. I thought that was a weird amount. Last time I saw one of these, you were thinking of adopting a skincare routine. Have you? Yeah, I feel like I probably had already adopted it. We were just talking about it, but yeah, I haven't. Sometimes I don't keep up with it as much as I should, but I do have a skincare routine. Just very basic skincare routine, nothing crazy. Cleanse, exfoliate, moisturize. That's it. You ever watch 6 Feet Under? I did not. I never watched that actually. I remember it was pretty popular. Do you think we'll all be vegans in the future because there won't be enough meat to feed humans? I highly doubt we're ever going to run out of meat. If anything, it's just, you know, the world is just going to be uninhabitable because of climate change, which is affected heavily by meat production. But I mean, they're gonna keep breeding fucking cows, and if they need to find a way to breed more cows, they're gonna breed it. They're gonna do it. Everybody Hates Chris is good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's not good. It is good. It's funny. Very funny. Yeah, Terry Crews is always good in everything he does. It's not. Did that show have a ending, or did it get canceled like before they could end it? Everybody Hates Chris. I mean, there's not that many episodes of it, is it? Yeah, there's only 4 seasons. Chris got his GED. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna don't be surprised if I make a video about Everybody Hates Chris. That might be interesting. The question is, would you try lab-grown human meat? I'd try it. Why not? I mean, assuming that it was like genuinely lab-grown and not like the result of someone being murdered or something. We're talking about chatbots, politics, careers, along with sitcoms. Do you notice these errors during a conversation stream? I don't know if I notice. I just kind of go with the flow. And a lot of times we come back to topics that we talked about before. I don't know. I like these kind of streams. There's very like stream of consciousness and just talking about a bunch of different stuff. What advice would you give to men/boys who were hooked on Manosphere red pill content? Who were, as in they aren't anymore? Or who currently are? I don't know what I would say. It's hard to deprogram that kind of stuff. The thing that I try to impart to people when it comes to anything like that is to go with just do the am I being a dick test. Whenever you think about anything, especially something related to society, interactions with human beings, politics, ask yourself, am I being a dick right now? Like, am I being just kind of an asshole? Just genuinely ask yourself that. Am I really being an asshole right now? And if you kind of genuinely do that more often, you might realize that a lot of these communities and things that are going around are not great. They're pretty toxic. Because that's what a lot of this like Manosphere red pill stuff is. It's very, very asshole-ish. Even if there's like 5% good advice. Because there's like 5% good advice sometimes. Sometimes it's just straight up nonsense. But sometimes it's like, hey, be confident, take care of yourself, work hard, things like that. That's fine. But then it gets into like the heavy misogyny and, the heavy sort of like, it just gets very creepy. And that's where it's like, you need to ask yourself, are you being an asshole right now? Because you might be. How do you feel about really old shows from the 70s, like Happy Days? I mean, some of them are good. I think All in the Family is an amazing show. The Jeffersons was a great show. Was that more the 80s? I can't remember. Happy Days, I think, was pretty good in the beginning. Then it kind of got really silly. I think guys eventually grow out of it, right? For the most part, I was a huge conservative manosphere teen. I would like to think so, but I don't know how old you are, but I wasn't like conservative, but when I was younger, I was pretty into like pickup artists and that type of shit, the game and shit like that. But the problem is, when I was a teenager, there was no Reddit, there was no Twitter, there was no Discord, there weren't these communities where we had our forums and stuff, but there were no like content creators with millions of followers telling you, validating these opinions in your mind. And that's what I fear, is that because of that, it's going to stagnate people's growth, because they're constantly watching this content that continues to like reinforce the beliefs that they have. I could be wrong, but that's my fear. What's your opinion on pineapple on pizza, and do you think it should be on pizza? So here's the thing. I would never order pineapple on pizza. To be honest, I'm pretty picky with pizza toppings. I think most of them are pretty mediocre. But I would never order pineapple on pizza. But if there's a pizza there and it has pineapple on it, I'll eat it and I'll enjoy it. Why do girls date these douchebags? Like, these manosphere dudes gotta be smashing something, right? Well, I can't speak for like someone like Andrew Tate, who's like really famous and people know who he is. But I know from my history in the pickup artist days, they're actually quite charming to women. They don't respect them as humans, but they're playing the game, and the game is to make women like you, and you make women like you by being funny and charming and competent. So, that's why they like them. They're not doing the asshole sort of openly misogynist stuff directly towards the women. Now, for people like Andrew Tate or people like that who are well known, who women have heard of, I don't know how that works. But I have no idea. A lot of the manosphere guys are fit and have good hygiene, and given the choice between a guy like that and a respectable guy who I am not physically attracted to, I'd take the former. I mean, I think that there are people who just prefer a put together guy. Like a successful put together guy. I think, and this is where I talk about where I say they have like 5% good advice. Because it's good, especially if your goal is to be attractive to women, it's a good idea to take care of yourself and take a bath and, make some money. I don't think that's bad advice, but the problem is all that bad advice is weighed down by all the other stuff. But then we have these guys who have no confidence, who have nothing to offer. But like, maybe they're nice. It's like, I'm nice. Why don't girls like me? Well, you have nothing else to offer then. Being nice is not sexy, it's not, that doesn't make people want to be your girlfriend. And I think that's what they've kind of figured out. Is the music too loud? Have you ever seen Sneeko talk to women? He speaks a lot softer. Yeah, for sure. Sneeko's an interesting guy for sure. I have played, I don't know. The thing about it too is a lot of these people are like super young, you know, at least from my perspective. Like when you're like 22 years old trying to teach dudes about, you know, how to be respectable humans, it's a bit laughable to me. Like you barely have been an adult enough years to know anything, you know. Grew up on Alex Jones, Louis Farrakhan, and Tommy Sotomayor. Yeah, I remember him. Yeah, let me know if the music's too loud. I figured someone would have said something. Someone mentioned it, but this is the volume that I normally have it on the streams, I think. How do you reckon I can cope with the awful and cringy shit I did in high school? How do you cope with it? I mean, you just have to come to terms with the fact that everyone is kind of cringe when they're in high school, and you were a different person then, and every now and then you'll remember it and you'll shudder a little bit, but hopefully you're a different and better person now, and that should inspire you to keep moving forward. It's like, well, I'm glad I'm not that cringe anymore. What kind of pizza toppings do you like? I'm very simple. I just like a pepperoni pizza. If I'm being fancy, I might do ham and bacon, or like mushrooms and bacon. I mean, I think pepperoni and bacon are good, and then you mix it with like either mushrooms or maybe spinach if I'm being like real saucy. But I'm very simple. You give me a pepperoni pizza, I'm happy. I feel like nice can be attractive. If it's more like being kind than just nice. I'm sure it is to certain people. I just think that being kind is such like a baseline aspect of being a decent person that most people kind of expect it from most people, and so it's not considered as exceptional, or at least not in and of itself, you know. It needs to be like packaged with other stuff. And then it depends on the nature of your relationship as well. Like if you meet a stranger who's like very kind, you know, that might be cool, but I doubt it's going to be like, man, that makes me want to have sex with that person. But if it's like someone that you've known for a while, and then you come to the realization that they've been super caring and kind to you for a long time, that might, you know, make you think about them in a different way. Pinpointing what women as a whole are attracted to is so interesting. I mean, women obviously are not a monolith, but I think a lot of it is just like human psychology. Like a lot of people are attracted to similar things. Like most people are attracted to confidence. Most people are attracted to courage, things like that. Most people are impressed by success. Just like basic human psychology. I've never been able to pick a favorite movie until Everything Everywhere All at Once. As an Asian American, it blew my mind. Is there a similar thing for you? I don't know. Sometimes I come to a realization about that how much I love a movie that I've never really realized. Like I was thinking not too long ago about the movie. Okay, I think the OBS just disconnected for a sec. I think I'm still live though. My bad. I don't know if I got cut off when I was talking, but I was talking about Scott Pilgrim and how I realized that it was one of my favorite movies, even though I never thought it was. Yeah, OBS crashed for a second, which is the program that I used to stream, if you don't know what that is. I think society. Oh, by the way, I'm probably gonna end the stream in about 10 minutes. I gotta go prepare for my D&D game later, but I'll answer a few more questions before I go. I think society needs to teach men to have their lives together before pursuing a relationship. I mean, I don't know. I think that's kind of maybe a little too like rigid, because sometimes you meet someone and, you know, they're not, you know, completely self-actualized. They're still figuring stuff out, but you still care enough for them that you can deal with it. I've seen that happen plenty of times. And we shouldn't like deny people that opportunity. Have I seen Cloud Atlas? I don't think so, no. You think being uninterested in building social relationships is a problem? Maybe like being socially lazy and preferring to be alone is a problem. No, not necessarily. I think the thing is though, I think a lot of times when people say that, they're not actually describing something that makes them happy. If being alone all the time truly makes you happy and fulfills you, then that's what you should do. But a lot of times people are not describing something that makes them happy. They're describing what you like, laziness, as you said, either laziness or anxiety, and that could be a problem. Or even antisocial issues, which can be a problem. So it just really depends on the situation. You think we'll have to segregate the genders for boys to catch up to girls in schools? I doubt that that's necessary, but I don't know. What movies or shows are you most looking forward to? Well, I actually do want to watch the Penguin show as well. Anything MCU, I'm pretty hyped for any MCU stuff. I'm a fanboy, I fully admit it. I don't know, I can't think of anything else. I don't watch a lot of stuff. Any interested in other tabletop RPGs? I played Blades in the Dark for the first time recently. Cool system, cool setting. I mean, I'm down to try anything really. And I've played others. I love Vampire the Masquerade. I love Call of Cthulhu. And I've played some other stuff. I played some Powered by the Apocalypse stuff, and I've played some I forgot what the other system's called, but yeah, I've played some other stuff. I think since love is below self-esteem on Maslow's hierarchy and you don't get enough social support from your family and friends, a relationship can be an important building block for feeling loved enough to work on yourself. I think that is an interesting take. I cannot confirm or deny whether that's true, but I could see that being true. I just think that the only thing that's required for a relationship to work is that both people are on the same page. Whatever page that is, as long as both people are on the same page, it can work. I don't think you need to be completely self-realized or completely have everything figured out. As long as someone else understands that about you and can deal with it. What's on MacGruber? I never saw the movie. I like the sketches. I love MCU, but the Marvels looks too jokey for me. That ruined Thor 4 for me. Well, I haven't seen it. I don't watch trailers for MCU movies because I don't want anything to be spoiled. So I don't know anything about what the Marvels looks like. Is there a trailer for it? I don't even know. And with Thor, I can understand why a lot of people didn't like how silly it was. I think I was fine with it. Like, once you go in the movie and you understand that that's what it's going to be, then you can kind of enjoy it. And I like the fact that different Marvel franchises and movies have different themes and tones. That's cool. It's like a variety. Like, some of them are darker, some of them are light, some of them are more like, you know, like the Doctor Strange movie was basically a horror movie, which I thought was dope. You know, some of them are more about the politics, and some of them are more superhero-y. Like the Avengers movies are very superhero-y, but the Captain America movies are more like, you know, typical action movies. So I like the different tones. And Thor is just a comedy. It's a comedy, so. Once you go in knowing that it's a comedy, then be prepared to watch a comedy. That's kind of how I feel about it. Are you gonna play Diablo 4? Yeah, I'll probably check it out. I'm not a big Diablo person, but I'll probably play it with friends. The problem is I don't really like super grindy games, but I do like the whole feel and gameplay of Diablo, so I'll probably try it out. Who you got, Kings versus Warriors? I honestly don't know. I'm completely out of touch with NBA. I used to be really into it, so I haven't followed. I have no idea. I want to get back into it though. Words of advice for someone who wants to create but is afraid of getting bullied. Well, I don't know. I think so. If you make stuff and you put it out for the public to see, you have to be prepared that you might get negative comments, and unfortunately, it's possible that those negative comments could get to the level of bullying and harassment, and that's something that you have to be like mentally prepared for. And if you think you can't deal with that, then I would not suggest putting things publicly on the internet. There are some things you can do, like moderating you know, comments and things like that. You can completely disable comments if you want to, if you're uploading on YouTube. If you're, you know, you can mute people, block people, things like that. But yeah, it's a rough thing. I don't get too many negative comments, but I barely like read comments anymore. I mean, I'll read comments like the first day of uploading a video, and then I just don't read them anymore, because after the first couple of days is when like people who aren't my regular viewers come, and you start getting more like really shitty comments. But yeah, but unfortunately that the internet is kind of trash, and that's just something you have to deal with. And for your own mental health, if you don't think you can deal with it, please don't do it. Especially, I don't know like your situation, but if you're a woman and if you're LGBTQ, it can get a lot worse depending on what you're talking about. How do you get over people talking in the movies? I get over people talking in the movies by not going to the movies when there are a lot of people there. I never watch movies on opening night, and I usually don't watch movies. Well, I try to watch movies early, but sometimes I can't always do that. But I go to the movies like on a Monday at 5 p.m. like a week after the movie has come out. That's my strategy. You think stuffed crust pizza is for greedy people? No, stuffed crust pizza is good. You probably shouldn't eat it every day, but it's quite good. Opinions on Star Wars live action shows? I actually have not seen any of them. I'm not a big Star Wars guy, to be honest. I've heard that they're good though. Maybe I should watch them. We'll see. How do you play D&D, online or? I personally play in person, but you can play online. Unless you're asking like in general, how do you play D&D? Like what are the rules of the game, in which that's kind of complicated, but basically you just say what you're gonna do, and then the DM makes you roll dice to figure out how successful you are. Calzone or lasagna? Probably lasagna. Lasagna's dope. I like the idea of not just reading the comment. Yeah, I mean, for sure. And it is absolutely your prerogative to not read the comments. You know, I think some people might tell you, you need to interact with the community. You need to listen to criticism. It's like, no, you don't. It's your life. Do whatever you want. Do what you need to do. Am I concerned about bots? I don't know. I don't really think about it that much. At this point, I don't really care about the comments. And like, that's why I like doing streams like this. When I talk to the chat, when I talk to you all, I really feel like a person, and I feel like I'm talking to real people. The comments on YouTube videos, it doesn't even seem like real people to me. I know it is, but it just doesn't feel like it, especially because a lot of the comments are so whack. It's like, who types, like who, maybe it was a bot. Like why would a real person type that and put it into the internet? So that's why I like these live streams, and also my Discord is another way that if I really want to interact with the community, that's how I do it. Do you consider a smart guy analysis video? Sure. That's another good idea. I need to talk to Jose. Jose would probably love to do a video about smart guy. If you like sitcoms, by the way, you should subscribe to Jose. He does a lot of sitcom videos. It's true, I'm just a figment of your imagination, maybe. Do you like Resident Evil? I do like Resident Evil. I usually watch my friend play through them instead of playing them myself, but they're entertaining. I just watched my friend play a bunch of the new Resident Evil 4 remake. What's the next video? It's a surprise. I don't like to spoil the videos. But what's my favorite sitcom? It's kind of cringe to say now, but it's The Cosby Show. The non-cringe answer is Parks and Recreation. I love Parks and Recreation. That's probably my second favorite. Malcolm in the Middle is very good. But I gotta go, guys. I've got to get prepared for my plans this afternoon. But I do thank you for all the questions. A pretty lively chat this time around. Feel free to check out my Discord server if you want to have more discussions like this. I'm pretty active on the Discord myself in certain channels. Just I can maybe flash the link up with this command if it still works. But yeah, I'm gonna try to stream again soon. Still don't have a very solid streaming schedule, but I do want to stream again. I do want to stream more often. But yeah, I enjoy streaming. It was very fun, very good conversations, and I guess I'll see y'all next time. Bye bye.